This is a scene from Michael Mann's 1995 masterpiece, Heat.
Don't move! Put your hands in the air! Put your hands in the air! Put them up! Down! Down!
Fast forward 13 years and Christopher Nolan gives us this. In multiple interviews, Nolan has openly admitted that his absolute blueprint for the opening of the Dark Knight sequence was Michael Mann's Heat.
And so that feeling of, could we take the feeling of Heat, could you bring that feeling into the Batman universe? Could you tell a story in that key?
Quite an incredible piece of work that I've drawn inspiration from, and filmmakers of my generation have drawn inspiration from.
The inspiration ran so deep that Nolan even brought in a familiar face to physically bridge the two films.
You have any idea who you're stealing from? You and your friends are dead!
The bank manager who blasts away at the Joker's crew is William Finchner, the same actor who played the shady money launderer Roger Van Zant 13 years earlier in Heat. So naturally, when Michael Mann announced he's officially making Heat 2, adapting his own best-selling novel, the anticipation was already through the roof.
I really wanted to do more with the three-dimensional understanding of these people, their past, and then also project them into the futures that they might have.
But there was one massive question hanging over the entire project. How do you possibly follow up the legendary on-screen pairing of Al Pacino and Robert De Niro? Even though the duo was part of Godfather 2, they never shared a frame together. Their coffee shop scene is celebrated as one of the greatest face-off scenes in cinema history.
I do what I do best. I take scores. You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me.
So you never wanted a regular type life?
This regular type life, that your life?
My life? No, my life. No, my life's a disaster song.
Their dynamic was the heartbeat of the original film, and to make this new movie work, Mann would need to cast two actors who first haven't worked together and second are the absolute titans of the current generation. Christian Bale and Leonardo DiCaprio have officially joined the cast of Heat 2, and for me, this is a cinematic wishlist coming to life. Quentin Tarantino ticked off the first box when he put Leo and Brad Pitt together in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Hey! You're Rick Dalton. Don't you forget it.
Michael Mann is setting up a modern clash of heavyweights, pulling off the same casting magic he did 3 decades ago. When the 1995 Heat came out, it was called the New American Classic. And now, with all the developments of Heat 2, it begs the question, will Heat 2 be this era's New American Classic? Let's find out by starting at the very beginning, the journey of Heat 2. After Heat, Mann went on to direct some of the most intense and visually stunning movies of our time. With movies like Insider, Collateral, Miami Vice, and Public Enemies, he was constantly pushing the boundaries of digital filmmaking and exploring the minds of driven, obsessive men. But even while he was making all those incredible films, the world of Heat never actually left his mind. Back in the summer of 2022, he teamed up with the brilliant crime author Meg Gardiner to release a sprawling, deeply researched novel titled Heat 2, which became an instant bestseller. Mann has always been incredibly vocal about his intense creative process, explaining that he actually had full, deep biographies mapped out in his head for all these iconic characters way before the cameras ever started rolling back in the mid-90s. He already knew exactly what made Neil McCauley so incredibly cold and calculated. He also knew exactly what drove Vincent Hanna to be so deeply obsessed with the chase that his personal life and his marriages were nothing but a constant burning wreckage. Writing this massive book was his way of finally getting all that rich, complicated chemistry out into the open and sharing it with the audience. Almost as soon as the book hit the shelves, the entire entertainment industry started buzzing with heavy rumors of a film adaptation. Warner Brothers, which distributed the original film, reportedly had some hesitation about the massive budget, but Amazon and MGM swooped right in, dropping a rumored budget of well over $170 million to make certain that his grand vision would not be compromised in the slightest. This kind of massive financial backing proves just how much faith the studios have in this specific property, and taking a dense novel that spans multiple decades and condensing it into a cohesive screenplay is a monumental task. But Mann is treating this as his ultimate magnum opus, seamlessly blending his recent literary success back into the visual medium that made him a legendary storyteller in the first place. With filming expected to begin very soon, the immediate question is, who is exactly stepping into these legendary shoes? Heat 2 has both a prequel and a sequel to the events of 1995. For the prequel section, Austin Butler could be young Chris Shiherlis. He certainly has the look for it. Adam Driver would be the young Neil McCauley. Driver just worked closely with Mann on the racing biopic Ferrari, so they already have an established shorthand on set. Christian Bale is officially confirmed to star, and since he has stated he is heading to Chicago to shoot, I believe he will play the role of Vincent Hanna. Bale has previously worked with Mann on Public Enemies as an FBI agent, so he already knows how to bring that relentless energy. But things get even more interesting in the sequel part. Leonardo DiCaprio is officially confirmed to star, and I believe he will be playing the old Chris Shairless. This is a massive, incredible shift for Leo, taking on the slick, dangerous energy of a bank robber who has evolved into an international criminal. With Bale continuing to play Hanna in the sequel timeline, it sets up a massive face-off, making both Leo and Bale share a ton of scenes in the sequel portion of the movie. Throw in Ana de Armas, rumored to be playing a key female role, and you have a lineup that practically guarantees a cultural event. Bringing us to the next chapter, what Heat 2 is all about. Making a prequel and a sequel at the same time is a wildly ambitious move, but Michael Mann has structured this story perfectly. The narrative violently rips us back to Chicago in 1988, about 7 years before the bloody events of the original movie. We trade the sun-baked freeways of Los Angeles for the gritty, freezing industrial Chicago. Here we find a younger Neil McCauley and his Highline crew in their absolute prime, taking down major high-stakes scores across the Midwest. Simultaneously, a younger, highly volatile Vincent Hanna is working as a Chicago police detective, hunting down a sadistic gang of home invaders. This prequel timeline is crucial because it shows us the exact brutal cases that shaped Hanna into the manic, exhausted cop we meet later, and reveals how close he and McCauley came to crossing paths long before their famous Los Angeles coffee shop sit-down. Then the narrative pushes forward into completely uncharted and dangerous territory. At the end of the original film, Chris Shairless is the only crew member who makes it out alive, slipping past flashing police blockades, wounded and alone. Heat 2 picks up literally hours later. We follow Chris as he desperately scrambles to escape a completely locked down Los Angeles, eventually smuggling himself down to South America. He lands in Paraguay, getting tangled up with a powerful Taiwanese crime syndicate, and evolves from a street-level bank robber into a major high-tech player in the global criminal underworld. Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, Vincent Hanna is still on the job, haunted by the past until it inevitably comes knocking at his door. Bringing us to the question I posed earlier, will Heat 2 be this era's new American classic? Great actors and a sprawling plot are only part of the equation for a Michael Mann movie. The other half is his unparalleled dedication to supreme realism. The 1995 film is still highly praised today for its incredibly accurate depictions of tactical movement and weapon handling. Mann notoriously refused to dub the gunshots in post-production, recording the actual deafening sounds of blanks echoing off the concrete. We can absolutely expect that same level of obsessive dedication here. With the story moving into advanced cybersecurity and international smuggling, the production scale is massive. With filming planned across global locations, Mann is going to bring his atmospheric, moody cinematography to every single frame, perfectly capturing the extreme isolation of these deeply flawed characters. He is not making a lazy sequel just for a quick paycheck. By expanding the canvas globally, diving into the technological evolution of modern crime, and bringing in the absolute elite tier of modern actors, he is actively trying to elevate the past. We are looking at a deeply layered epic story that spans decades, connects the past to the future, and puts acting legends on a direct, inevitable collision course. If they can execute this dense script with the raw intensity of the original, then Heat 2 will be a defining cinematic masterpiece for our generation. Let me know what you guys think of Heat 2, especially its massive casting news, in the comments below. If you found this video insightful and are interested in watching more, check out our video on Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.